Hi, I'm Miles.
And I'm Marika.
And this is I Don't Know What I'm Doing.
'Cause we don't.
Okay. It is steamy and sticky, and we are here facing a different direction in the living room.
Yes. So you can hear Miles better.
Yeah.
Basically.
Mm-hmm.
I loved it because it's like my own show.
It literally was.
Yay.
You guys are just used to turning like your volume up and down for the show, right? Depending on who's talking. We usually start off with our fails of the week.
Yes.
But in my case, it's my fail of 8 years. Yeah.
Wait, what is that?
So, in the early 20-teens,
Okay.
I was in AmeriCorps.
Okay.
And when you do AmeriCorps, each year that you're in it, at least my program, you get $5,500 to use towards education.
Okay.
That can be used towards student loans,
Okay.
or that can be used towards future education.
Okay.
I used so I got $11,000
Oh, okay.
because I did it for 2 years.
Okay.
That money I never really knew what I was going to do with because I didn't have any student loans. Thank you, great Uncle Johnny. Thank God. Didn't have to, yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't have student loans, but I also, when I went to advertising school, Chicago Portfolio School, because they're not accredited,
Right.
I wasn't able to use the money for that either.
Right.
So the money was just kind of sitting there. I took a Spanish class with it, and I took an Art Institute class, like a fashion fundamentals class, which was actually awesome.
Okay.
So I spent maybe $1,000
Okay.
of the $1,100, or
Okay.
of the $11,000.
Okay.
And last year, half of it expired.
Ooh, girl.
I know. The other half is expiring in August. And I was like, you know what I should have fucking done? Is I've always known about this program at Middlebury College, Vermont, which is in the summer, it's an 8-week language immersion program. And it costs $7,000.
Uh-huh.
And you go and you can pick any language you want. Spanish, French, German, Korean, Arabic, I think, Portuguese.
Yeah.
And you live there and you have to sign a pledge that you will not speak English. You will go on the internet in Spanish, or let's say you're doing Spanish. You'll go on the internet in Spanish, you will watch Spanish TV, you will only speak Spanish for 8 weeks. You have to immerse, fully. And people that have reviewed the program are like, I learned more Spanish here than when I lived in Spain.
Oh my God.
Because I couldn't crutch on English.
Oh, wow.
And I've always had a huge boner for this program. But been and I'm when I used to have my summers off.
Right.
I worked at the Francis Parker School, which I did go on amazing vacations, and I love that. I did that. I'm like, why didn't I do this program? Why didn't I went to Japan and and Greece and
That's true. And
I'm
Turkey
why
and stuff.
did I not take my fucking free ass money from AmeriCorps and my free ass time from my school?
Why didn't you do that when you were at the salon?
That was pre-AmeriCorps.
Oh, that was okay.
And the salon, when I worked at the salon, I had no days off. I had no PTO. I worked full time. I had no health insurance, made $10 an hour, and had no PTO. America, you just think about what that. We think about the society we just made for that, okay? You think about the full time work that got me nothing.
Yeah, that sucks.
Back to this thing. So my fail basically is that. But I'm trying to turn this fail into a success because I was like, I have 2 months before this fucking expires.
Yeah, right.
And I was Googling, because you can extend the award.
Okay.
But only under very specific circumstances. I went on Reddit and I was like, what are other AmeriCorps alumni fucking doing to stretch this shit and extend this shit? And they were like, it's COVID, bitch. How are you supposed to use it? And I was like, yes. So I was like, I'm extending this award.
COVID.
I go to their terrible website.
Rona.
They want you to open an Internet Explorer. It's the only way it works. It's horrible.
Ew.
You guys,
Ew.
8 years ago, literally 9 years ago, I almost didn't do AmeriCorps at all because the website was so bad, and I still haven't changed it. I had to open it in Safari for it to barely work. Chrome couldn't handle it. Chrome couldn't do it. So I go on, I'm extend my award, do that drop down menu. I'm like, I have an illness. And I write up, and they're like, okay, what do you want? They don't give you any guidance. They're just like, do you want to attach a PDF to explain? Don't give you any, there's no template.
Okay.
So I just like open up a Word doc and I'm like, Dear Corporation for National Community Service. It's Rona, bitch. How am I supposed to fucking use this award? Okay, I want to do an immersive language program, and you want me to do that online? No. The quality of the education is compromised. Please extend this. So I did that today. I don't know if it's going to work. It's probably not going to work because it's the government I'm dealing with. I would have to quit my job to even do this program because it's 8 weeks.
So, wait, would you have to... Oh, you couldn't speak English, right? Is that part of it? You have to go to Vermont?
You have to go to the college for 8 weeks.
Oh, wow.
And they put you up in like a campus thing.
Wow.
I don't even know if I want to do this, but I was like, if I have the education money to do this, I do want to do this. Like, if someone else will pay for it.
That's like my Spanish camp that I went to. Laga de Bosque.
Lagunitas.
Yes. Laga de Bosque, which is Forest Lake.
You did that? Oh, that was like your day camp thing?
It wasn't a day camp. It was a sleepover
Sleepaway?
camp. Sleepaway camp, but like for a week.
How old were you?
I was like in 7th. No, I was like 16 because Ian and I like broke up that summer, or like the end of the school year, and yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, and I got a camp boyfriend, and then at the end he like pretended to like know me.
See, those are the kind of experiences, like, I've never lived abroad. I exchanged to France in college, but it was not immersive because it was during the winter and it was like surrounded by art school students. Like, we kind of like, it was a campus of my college. So like, I never did a fucking immersive camp. I never stayed with a family. I never like taught English in fucking Japan or Korea or France or whatever. So I'm like, now that I'm 32, I'm like, I kind of want to do that shit finally. Like, I kind of want to, that's an experience I've always wanted to have. And I didn't exchange in high school or any of that shit.
Right.
And I'm, whatever. I don't care. I'm not loyal. Job, I love you, but like, I'm not gonna let you hold me back, okay?
From your cultural goals. Speaking of that, and languages. So, I striked up a deal with my mother.
Struck
up a deal with my mother about learning Thai. So, I told her, if I learn Thai, okay, no more gifts for the rest of your life. No more Mother's Day gift, no card, no Christmas gift, no nothing. Birthday? No card. No card also. And really...
Why does that feel mean? Why don't you want to give her... I mean, I suck. I never get my fucking mom a card, but like, oops. Like, why don't you want to do a card?
Because my mom gets, like, sappy and stuff and, like, upset. You know, I can't do funny cards. But for my fail, have I started doing that? No.
Okay, so you told your mom, who speaks Thai, that you're going to learn Thai for her to avoid having to get her any extra cards.
Well, because also to give her off my back of, like, learning Thai.
Oh, she's still on your back about it?
Yeah, she definitely is. Of course.
Wait, always?
Like, probably every time I talk to her, like, which is, like, once a week on Sundays, yeah.
For your entire life?
Not for my entire life, because I didn't talk to her once a week.
But, like, I feel like your parents are really supportive of you, like, learning Spanish and stuff.
Yeah, but since I'm not learning Spanish, and I get why my mom's on my back, because I'd probably be the same way of, like, I can speak Thai. Take this fucking opportunity. Like, what the fuck are you doing? This is your heritage. This is your birthright. Like,
yeah.
What the fuck, dude? I can speak Thai. And my mom keeps to pitch Thai to me. She keeps saying, Maria, there is no grammar with Thai. Okay? For example, if you want to do anything past tense, you just put the word yesterday somewhere in the sentence. That doesn't matter where. She basically said that. Doesn't matter where you put it. Just put it somewhere.
I mean, I believe that that's true. Do I believe that there's no grammar in this language? No. There's gotta be.
So I downloaded, like, the app that you recommended many moons ago, which is Mango. Uh-huh. And I started it, and I stopped because they were talking about inflection. I'm like, I already know inflection. Just tell me what to say. Just tell me what to say. So this proposition occurred probably 2 weeks ago. Uh-huh. Have I done anything? No. except downloading the app, and that is it.
I mean, it's definitely daunting.
Yeah, but I think it would be fun though. Like, I think what I need to be motivating myself is like talking to people behind their back in front of them with my mother, like my dad.
Right.
And I think like my mom is a different person in Thai.
Well, I'll be checking in probably every hour on your Thai journey because I'm very invested in that. And I guess we can get into our topic. I don't even...
Wait, I thought you had questions about it. Because I said it over dinner and then Miles was like, save it for the podcast.
I guess I'm just assuming that you're going to be illiterate.
Yeah.
Okay.
Shouldn't be... This is a very, historical, like, moment in our history that's very,
America's history.
Yeah.
Yeah.
America's. So we're going to talk about white privilege and just
Privilege in general.
and privilege in general.
Probably just the state of our country and all the inequalities that have built it.
Right.
We're recording this like after, I mean, the George Floyd murder was... His funeral was today?
And, you know, and then obviously there's talk of like Breonna Taylor as well too, and other people who have not found justice yet, or not that saying George found justice yet, but they haven't even started that. Especially Breonna Taylor, dude. But speaking of white privilege, Miles, how do you feel white privileged? I don't know how to like broach this question because
for me, like, yeah, I guess I like to... All of these things to me are very visual. It's like, because somebody sees you, a policeman, employer sees your name, or like an employer on a resume sees your name, or a policeman sees you and identifies you as white. Maybe you're white, maybe you're 3/4 white, quarter black, maybe you're part of Asian, but like they're like, okay, you're white-ish to me.
Right.
It's like society has been completely constructed for you because America was completely constructed for white men. And we've like done little things to like update that and change that and try to fix that, but like
not really.
I feel like we just think that history is like this thing that's like a closed book, but it's like that like wasn't that long ago. Like, it's still completely informing, like, so many systems that we have overhauled.
It's just, like, I want to say systematic so bad, like, but it's, like, what is it called?
Systematic.
Racism. Okay. I feel like I say it wrong. For me, like, white privilege is, like, I don't have to have that much fear when I get pulled over. I'm gonna be honest, I do have fear because I'm getting fucking pulled over.
Wait,
like,
do you identify as white?
Yeah, I do. I identify mostly as white because the discrimination that I have felt is very small.
Yeah.
It's just like mixing up the two brown girls in grade school. But yeah, like I grew up in a middle class environment pretty much, and my dad grew up is white and my mom is Asian. She grew up in Thailand. So like, you know, I feel like obviously I came from a privileged background. You know, granted, my dad's family was poor. Like they didn't grow up rich. They didn't really grow up like probably lower middle class. And my mom also third world country, but like probably middle class for a third world country. But like my parents, we didn't do subsidized housing or anything. Not saying like all African Americans experience that, but let's be real, like majority of all minorities are in that type of environment because of like redlining and stuff.
And the society's been built against them.
Right.
I mean, that's kind of, I think of it like even earlier where I was like, I had no college loans. It's like my great uncle, fucking born in the 20s, Greek, parents born in Greece, but like white. Like he made his money owning a Pepsi bottling plant, and he got super rich off of that. Like, could a black man have owned, or woman owned a Pepsi bottling plant at that time? Hell no.
Oh, hell no.
You know? So I'm like, I did benefit from I definitely benefited from the system and the
Right.
historical system.
Right.
Where
Yeah.
I had a fucking rich ass relative.
Right. I mean,
I didn't do any work towards that.
no. But it's like, God, it's so unfair because, I mean, I could have, like, be born in a poor family also and be white, you know? But I was lucky to be chosen into a family that,
Chosen.
I don't know, chosen. I don't know.
God?
I don't know how to say, like, randomly selected. Gosh, it's so really hard to talk about white privilege because, like, I don't know politically correctly what to say, but it does feel like need to be discussed rather than, like, the brutality of police against black lives. Like, you know, because to fix that racism, we gotta, like, start with how
Well,
we...
that's what like people are saying. They're like, if you want to fix racism in police, you honestly have to fix racism, which
Right.
is a way harder thing. So they're like, what can we do right now with laws and stuff to fix police right now? Because fixing racism will take a long time.
Yeah, gosh.
Although there was an interview again today with this Fayetteville. Where is that? I don't know. Guys, Google it. I got it. The chief of police in Fayetteville is a black woman.
Okay.
And they were like, do you think the police can fix racism on their own and can fix these brutality policies on their own, or do they need, you know, the protesters and the public?
Yeah.
And she was like, oh, we cannot fix it on our own.
No.
She's like, I've been in this police force. I've seen it happen. I've seen people, like, she's like, there's no way. It's too entrenched.
Oh.
Which is cool to hear our fucking chief of police say.
Right.
So.
I mean, yeah. I saw, like, this clip of, like, a documentary about, like, really wish I could remember what it's called, but the clip was basically showing, like, this black NYPD black police officer who's trying to get promoted. Mm-hmm. And he is in, like, the top 5 at least percentile of, like, the test you have to pass to get this promotion. I can't remember what it is, but probably detective or something like that.
Probably like a chin-up exam.
Yeah.
Or like...
Right. It's written. It's a written exam.
Okay.
So he's like, he was placed 8th out of 6,000 applicants, or for this test.
I'm like stressed out how competitive that is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So 8th.
Uh-huh.
Still not getting it.
Well, 8th, not first.
Yeah, but I mean overall
in America.
I think in the entire, like, New York Police Department.
It's pronounced New York.
New York.
But,
okay, but it's, you know, really Brooklyn that he was this precinct.
Yeah.
Okay. So he's, like, asking his, like, obviously his boss, like, what the fuck is happening? And he's like, you know, it's like, well, it's your quota, like, you know, because he's like, it's like, he's like, dude, yeah, there's
a quota.
Not the work quota, but
Okay,
it's like
I'm
your
like,
numbers. He's like, your numbers. Okay. And he kind of said in the beginning of the clip that, like, it was his numbers. And, you know, and he's like, but he's saying, like, he's rebuttaling that because I know I'm not the lowest, though, in numbers. Mm-hmm. So what the fuck is happening? And he's like, you want me to be honest? They said, fuck that guy. Because you have dreadlocks and you're black.
Are we talking like the long dreadlocks where you also put like jewelry in it and maybe you have a beard and like maybe
dude,
like you're like at the beach or something?
He was like...
He was fine?
He was fine. Yeah, he was pretty good. He was, yeah. And he had like this slick like bun dreadlock thing going on. He was like working like in a, like it's just like you clean up real nice, girl. That's okay. You clean up real nice.
You guys, controversial. I think the police uniform is hot, and I know police aren't cool right now, but like I can't change that. Okay?
It's true.
It's hot. It's
not
like,
but it's not how when you push an old man over. Okay, like
no.
no.
I saw that. Yeah, that's not hot.
You are ugly to me.
Like if you push me over onto a bed, like I don't know.
And wrap your thighs around me.
Yeah, with that police like. I like when it's the whole...
And then I feel your baton.
Which baton? I like when it's the whole regalia. Like, I like how complicated it can get, where it's like, it's kind of like a dress shirt, but then it has like the pockets with that like scallop thing, and then there's like a badge, and then sunglasses, and then a tie, and then the leather jacket, and then like so many components.
Layers.
Uniform.
Layers.
It sucks that you can't like be that for Halloween anymore because like police suck. So it's like.
Well, you could be a
sucks.
dead cop.
Oh yeah, that's true. You could be like a dead cop.
Yeah, you could be a dead cop. Everyone loves
We
those.
figured it out, you guys. Maybe.
Everyone loves those.
Yeah.
Have you dated anybody outside of your race? I know you have.
Yeah, a lot. Yeah.
How many? God, I don't want to say how many races. That's
I'm
so
just
weird.
we're gonna do a laundry list. Okay, so I dated some white people. I dated some Jewish people, also
Okay.
white. I dated a guy that was half black, half Native American.
It's
I dated a guy
hot.
that was black, although there was some Scottish in there, but black.
Okay.
Dated a guy that was half Asian, half white. And it's funny because, like, if you date one person that's not white, sure.
Mm-hmm.
But even, like, two people, white people will be like, oh, so you're really into Asians. Or even if I talked about an Asian being attractive, or like, oh, so you're really into black guys. I'm like, why the fuck are white people trying to make this, like, a fetish thing? Like, I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, every single ethnicity on this entire planet can be hot.
Right.
A hot man is a hot man. I don't care what the
Same.
skin tone, the face
Well.
shape, the eye shape. Like, I mean, no, as long as it's, like, the attractive, like,
Right.
we got that fucking, whatever, symmetry, I don't fucking
Yeah.
It's, like, it's weird to me when people are like, I'm not into Asians, or I'm not into black guys, or whatever, and I'm like, but a hot person's a hot person.
If I see a hot black man, am I gonna deny that? Hell fucking no.
Well, no.
But when I watch porn, what am I watching? White people. Gonna be honest, like
I don't watch porn.
you should. It's really great. I used to not watch it. I used to be not into that. I'm like, I'll do it
I don't wanna
myself.
watch two strangers I don't know, and it's always so violent. It's
They're
always, at least
picking
gay
the-
porn is fucking violent. It's just like, thrust, 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 and I'm like, oh my god, take it slow, take a chill pill, like.
Take a chill. I haven't watched gay porn except for lesbian, and lesbian's so like slow and like soothing and like
Do you think that they're actually lesbians?
caressing and no, maybe I don't know. I can't really tell. I watched I even watched like old lady porn.
What does that mean?
Basically it was like a nunnery type of environment.
How old are we? Are like they're old?
They're old.
How old is old? Like 50 or like
50s.
like a J-Lo 50 or like
No.
girls 50?
Like little sagginess 50.
Oh.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I watched it one time. It was sensual.
Mm.
So
Look at the connection between those two women.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was nice. Yeah, like for us women, like lesbian porn is very nice and calming. Like we sometimes we want to transition into that because like I want something that's like, taking it slow and like kissing me and like that stuff.
Because that's like real love.
Yes, it
No.
is. So do you recognize like how do I phrase this? Like, are you starting to recognize like white privilege in different ways right now?
I mean, I have had training and stuff on this, so it doesn't feel super fresh to me. Like, I had to read, for my job, I had to read, for when I worked at a school, like, Why Are All the Black Kids Eating Together in the Cafeteria? And,
Okay.
like, Dr. Beverly Tatum, who wrote that book, like, came into my work and she spoke to us about the book, which was such an amazing experience, because, like, that book is amazing. So, I have, like, been educated on some of these topics already.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not all super fresh. Not to say that I know it all, but it's like not all
Right.
super fresh. Honestly, I love the way that Dr. Beverly Tatum like talked about this stuff, because I think that like the internet can be. I think about like people, like white people that are trying. Sometimes I don't think that the liberals or the left gives them a chance to really learn. They're just like either catch up to us and know it right now, or fuck you, you're racist. Like that, but
yeah.
it's like, which I don't think is right.
No.
and Dr. Beverly Tatum's whole thing, like, she would teach college classes, and there would be, she would have white people with, like, these views that were, you know, racist, but she was like, it's not their fault. She's like, they grew up in a racist system. They inherited a racist system, and they were programmed by school, TV, and their parents to think in this way.
Right.
So she's like, all I have to do as an educator is unpack them and show them how they've been programmed, and they can think in a new, more open way.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely have been programmed, for sure.
We all have. No matter what race you are, you've been programmed.
Yeah. And thank God, like, my parents have corrected me when I was younger. When, like, I remember, like, I was talking to my dad something, and I kind of, like, something about, like, my dad being friends with, like, an Indian person and just saying, like, oh, they must be good at math.
Uh-huh.
And then my dad's like, what? Like, just because they're Indian doesn't mean them good at math. And thinking at that time, like, well, it's a compliment, so why can't that be a racist? If, like, that it's not being racist if it's a compliment, type of thing. And he was like, no, that, like, don't think like that. That's not right. And I'm like, okay. And then I remember when 9/11 happened, and my aunt, who lives in Nebraska, grew up in Nebraska, Republican. I said, like, oh, all Muslims are racist, or, like, I said, not racist, terrorists. Or not, like, all of them are terrorists, but just saying, like, if you're a terrorist, that means you're also Muslim. Mm-hmm. And she's like, no, that's not right. And I'm like, well, like, yeah, it is. And she's like, well, what about the Oklahoma City bombing? Like, that guy wasn't Muslim, he was white. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, you're right.
But that was in the air at the time. Like,
yeah.
There was this whole idea around September 11th that, like, Islam was inherently this radical religion that would basically drive people to terrorism. And, like, that was a kind of almost like a new racism.
Yeah, it was. And I learned that from media in school, not my parents.
Yeah.
Not my parents at all.
Yeah. Like,
I didn't learn any racism from my parents or or assumptions or anything like that. It's all from, you know, unfortunately sometimes experience, but media and school. Like, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's hard. Like, because...
Especially when you're young, too, and you don't have all the facts yet, or you don't know your history yet.
Yeah, I didn't know about systemic racism until, like, this... I mean, I knew, you know, but, like... I mean, it's. I wish I learned that in school much earlier on in my life. I did not.
They didn't teach us any of that.
No, they didn't teach us any of that at all. And, like, I follow religiously to Bon Appetit. Find out that one of the minorities of Bon Appetit was saying, like, first of all, they forced me into videos to show diversity. They don't compensate me. They're underpaying me, and I'm taking on more responsibilities as an assistant editor than I should. Mm-hmm. You know, and they're not compensating. And I think, like, her coworkers also were fighting for this too, like, how, like, this is, like, unfair. And Condé Nast obviously hasn't really said anything. Kind of, they have. I don't know, but it just, like, I follow that that. I don't buy the magazine. I just go on the website and look at recipes. And I didn't make the conscious, like, effort to look at who are in their videos. What are the recipes? Like, there's no recipes for, like, African cuisine anywhere on this website. Anywhere. Or magazine. And then there's, like, this Asian videographer who would basically go to, like, the top 10 hot list restaurants of that month and, like, do videos and stuff like that. He said he would constantly film white and Asian chefs all the time. Never African American chefs ever. And it's like, well, people don't, those are sticky recipes and they're too complicated for people and stuff like that. That's, like, the feedback that he got of, like, why. And it's like, why did I not notice this? Why did I have to have a minority that works for that company speak out for me to fucking notice? I think that's what white privilege is to me, is like, I am not looking at the actions that I'm doing, that I'm like giving my time and energy to, you know, that are not representing enough minorities in their company. So, I don't know, does that make sense? I don't fucking...
I mean, I think it's like, the way I'm thinking about it, it's like, it's kind of invisible to us. Like, the system is invisible to us, so it's like, we're totally just used to seeing, like,
white people all the time.
White people, movies, TV. So, it's not always, like, the first thing that you think about, like, oh, where are the black people in this?
Right.
Like, where are the Asian people in this? Like, where are the gay people in this? Because you're like, well, that's what TV is.
Right. All the reality TV shows I watch at Bravo, majority are white. Okay, Vanderpump Rules, they fired 2 people who made racist accusations of a former cast member stealing, and they called the police, and there's, thank God, no repercussions of that, like, towards that woman who was falsely accused because of this color of her skin. But am I sad to see those cast members go? Like, yeah, I'm sad.
You're like, the drama.
The drama. Like, we're not gonna see Stassi's wedding? Like, fuck. Like, Stassi, like, why did you say this stuff? Like, you grew up in New Orleans, and of course you grew up in an all-girls school that's probably majority white because your dad is a fucking architect and has a lot of money. Like, of course, you grew up in that type of environment where systematic racism was very influenced in your life. Like, fuck, dude.
Yeah.
It just, like, and it's like, why couldn't you, it's sad because it's like, why couldn't you be better for me to watch your show?
Why couldn't you be better so I could watch your wedding?
Yeah. You're gonna be, like, your wedding was gonna be in Italy. Like, fuck. And I love your fiance. And, like, now I can't see him on the show anymore. Like, you know, it's just, and Kristen also, like, it's just, she added a lot of drama too to the show. Like, it's just like,
is that weird British guy still on?
Oh, James? Yeah, he is.
Okay.
James is still on. Of course he is.
Is he still, like...
He's sober now.
Oh my god, okay.
He's
I've
sober.
seen, like, this show, like, 3 times.
He is sober now. So, good job, James. But that show needs it needs an overhaul in diversity. Everyone is white. Every single person is white. I don't know who's Latino maybe, but majority people are white. So, God, it sucks because I love the cast, you know? But it's like, I feel guilty for feeling sad about it. When I feel like I shouldn't, you know? It's because it's the right thing to do. So.
Yeah. But it's also robbing you of entertainment value. So, I mean, it's the right thing to do, but you are losing something.
I am losing something. Like, oh, God, fuck.
So that's not untrue that you're, you know.
Right. But, you know, I have to think about, like, what that other girl was gaining. Like, she's, like, you know, there's consequences to these actions finally, and, like, before there wasn't.
She's getting justice.
The Faith, like, is getting that because 2 cast members are getting fired. Actually, 4 are getting fired because 2 new guys had racial tweets, like, years ago, and they didn't get kicked off at the time. But since they're firing Stassi and Kristen, they have to fire all 4 too. But those guys were boring anyways. They were boring as fuck. So they probably would have gotten fired anyways. I don't know. Maybe
yeah, I think it's weird. I feel like we live in a time, I don't know if it's right or wrong, I guess, where it's like somebody could have a tweet from 9 years ago and then they get fired because of it, which is like, delete your tweets. If you're gonna be on a show, go through your fucking Twitter. Just delete your Twitter, honestly. Just make a new Twitter. But because I really want to believe that people can grow and that people can learn and that people can be sorry and then they can do better.
Right.
But I think that right now the climate, at least with the internet, is that black or white, right and wrong. It's like, oh, you did this thing 9 years ago, you're a racist, you're canceled.
Right.
Which I don't like because it's like, I don't think that's helpful. Like, I think that the mindset should be a growth mindset, and it's like, if we can get all the people that were programmed to be basically furthering a white supremacist agenda to realize the insanity of that and change for the greater good of all Americans,
Right.
that's the goal. It's not
Yeah.
to cancel all the people that,
Right.
you know.
Yeah, because, like, let's be real. Like, everyone has a right to their own opinions, right? But sometimes have those opinions hurt other people, and maybe that person doesn't realize the consequences of those opinions or, like, voicing them.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, for example, like, my aunt telling me that not all Muslims are terrorists, like, that was a crucial moment in my life. Thank God she told me that. Otherwise, I would have probably thought that for years and years and years, thinking
Yeah,
that...
she educated you.
She educated me. But did she, like, scold me for believing that way?
Were
No.
you canceled? No.
I was not canceled.
They're like,
Okay.
Maria can't go to Thanksgiving. She's fired from the family.
Yeah, exactly. No. Yeah. It's just, like, a mistake that I made because of the media and school and my environment, besides my home environment, you know, that I was in, like, that taught me that, you know? So, like, yeah, I think they should be fired because I secretly think they're, like, only sorry because they got caught or whatever in this climate.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely accused somebody of stealing, and yeah, that doesn't...
Yeah, like, I think they only feel sorry for getting caught.
What did we learn today?
White privilege. That I need...
Supremacy.
Right, that I need to... I need to be more aware of my white privilege and not... Maybe, and watch more, like, minority entertainment. I'm very bad at that. I'm very bad at that. Very bad.
But is that gonna, like, really change anything?
Yeah, because the demand will be there.
Yeah, I guess I never know how entertainment, like, ratings works. It's like, how do they know we're watching it? Do they know that? I guess streaming they know.
Yeah, streaming. Come on,
TV,
numbers.
they don't know.
Yeah, TV they know.
TV, they had to send out those, like, Nielsen surveys.
No, they don't. They know.
Back in the day, though.
Yeah,
Maybe now,
but
I don't know.
yeah,
I'm
Nielsen.
saying.
Yeah, no, the demand advertising. Come on, you are in advertising.
I'm in advertising, but we don't know how anything works. Like, we're like, are our phones listening to us? And I'm
Yes.
like, but I'm like, wait, we're in advertising. Like, we talk about that at work, and I'm like, wouldn't we be the ones to know that? Like, how did none of us know that?
No.
I feel like besides like donating money,
Done that.
which I did, should donate more, but donated some.
I don't have like. Oh.
Good.
But it's like I don't have money to
Right.
donate.
Yeah, I
Also.
do. Oops. Besides like donating money, like what I try to do is just like. I just try to be a beacon of diversity in my work wherever I can, because especially because we're making ads, which is at least everyone hates ads. You skip them and ignore them, but at least it's like there is representation and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So like, even just like one brand I'm working on, we're trying to get them to do a Juneteenth post, and that was something I wanted to do because we were looking at the June calendar and we're like, we have to do Pride stuff, which guys is a whole nother story. As a fucking gay employee with fucking straight ass coworkers that don't understand anything, it's a struggle. But we look at this June calendar and they're like, and we want to do Father's Day, and I'm like, I really think that we should do a Juneteenth post. And everybody was like, what's Juneteenth? What June what? And I'm like, here we go, okay?
Emancipation!
So for you guys that don't know, Juneteenth celebrates the first time the Emancipation Proclamation was read in the South, which was the Civil War document that freed enslaved peoples, but it wasn't read in the South until like 2 years after it was drafted, and like none of the enslaved people in Texas were freed at that point. They were still enslaved when like the other slaves had been freed because Texas was so far west geographically, whatever.
We weren't even sure as a state. Like.
So Texas, literally the year after, started celebrating that June 19th date called Juneteenth, and now it's kind of become like a bigger holiday. I would not say it's mainstream at all. I didn't really know about it until like I was in college, living in Savannah, and like, but it's, I think every state except 3 or 4 have it as a state holiday, like at least recognized, maybe not an official state holiday, but it's like a observed.
It's on my iPhone.
Yeah. Anyway, so I'm like, I think we should do fucking Juneteenth post for this brand, and we came up with this really good idea that we're trying to sell through, and it makes, I think, even more sense now, but that's where I am trying to do something. Like, when I write scripts for work, like, I write gay people in those scripts. Because nobody else is. No one else is.
Right.
It's like, I just try to get it where I can, because I'm like, especially as a gay person, like, I think especially with gay stuff, because not everyone, I mean, probably all races, but with gay stuff, like TV and representation of gay people has been so huge in getting gay acceptance because
Right.
it's like if you know a gay person, that lifestyle, if you don't know a gay person, that lifestyle to you, lifestyle, honestly, that's what they used to say. That,
I
like,
know.
homosexuality seems icky and gross to you because you haven't thought about it or you haven't known someone, there's no personal connection.
Oh yeah.
So like, and this was I went to the museum in Washington D.C. that talked all about this, but it's like representation on TV, like especially for gay stuff, was super important because it was just showing it to people and making it less foreign and less like devilish and more just like
Having like a character.
dream. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, oh, these are just people that love each other. It's two men or it's two women.
You're right.
But before you're like, ew, men touching, like something about that is icky, but it's just because you're not exposed to it.
Right.
Sex-posed to it. So that's like what I try to do, at least in advertising, and honestly it never sells, and I've had pushback on so much stuff where I've tried to sell in gay stuff and they're like, you know what, the clients are really conservative, so we have to make this a man and a woman, or we have to make these lesbians roommates. I've had to make those changes. Multiple clients. And it's always awkward for me because I'm gay and I have my straight boss telling me to make this gay thing straight.
God, fuck.
It's fucking weird. But I'm not gonna stop.
Right, no.
And
no.
so that's why with like and where I can with I have never gotten to do casting purely, which is annoying. The one time we had to do casting, advertising stuff is here's the deal, you guys. They're obsessed with ethnically ambiguous casting.
Me.
That's what every company wants. You think it means you, Marika, but what ethnically ambiguous is really code for is we
White.
want a light-skinned black woman. That's what it really means.
Oh,
They say
is that not
ambiguous,
me?
but it means light-skinned black
Well, I'm like
woman,
skinned.
I would say. Yeah, I mean, maybe if you...
But I'm
maybe
too
you should
white.
Get into casting. No, I mean, you would be ethnically ambiguous.
Okay.
This is the kind of the skin tone they want.
Right.
They're just like...
The Indian
Like,
skin tone.
ethnically ambiguous to me
The
means
Indian, like, bleaching skin tone.
Yeah,
Almond.
it means like ethnically ambiguous to me truly means you would. It's like androgynous. It's like you would look at a person and you wouldn't know what ethnicity they were.
But you know they're more than white.
But in the real advertising equation, they want a light-skinned black person.
Right.
So at least that's good because it doesn't mean that they want like a white-ass person.
Right.
So I haven't had to do a lot of casting, but like I'm like, well, I guess that's where I can try with diversity besides donating money. Protests, you guys. I don't know. It's the age of
Have you
Corona.
gone?
I was invited to, but I just feel like people haven't given me. I like to know all the facts before I do something, and I'm like,
Yeah.
we
you
were just
do.
told to lock down for 2.5 months to be responsible citizens and stop the spread of corona. But now I'm supposed to go to a protest with 30,000 people, and I'm not clear that this mask is gonna fully protect everyone from infecting everyone else. Like,
Right.
no one's giving me the hard science on that.
Right.
So I don't know, I get conflicted.
I am not the best at finding out about protests because, like, I'm on Instagram a lot, not on Facebook. And for some odd reason, it's not coming up in my feed of, like, protests that are going to be happening in Chicago in the future.
That's my other frustration. It's like, I want to be involved, and they're like, this protest that happened yesterday. And I'm like, what the
Fuck!
I'm following Black Lives Matter Chicago. Like, why?
Why not, like... Why don't I hear about this? Like, I don't. And, like, I constantly see, like, Minnesota stuff all the time because of, like, Amanda, you know, posting constantly all the time. Like, her stories are, like, top, like, really
Yeah.
great. I really love, like, all the work she's doing with that. But I've donated. I bought a shirt recently. I'm not very consistent with it, but I'm doing, like, Girl Trek, where basically it's, like, a Black History Woman boot camp. These two Black women talk about a prominent figure that's a woman in Black history. They really encourage you to do self-care and, like, walk and stuff outside and
Just walk in general. They just encourage
yeah,
walking.
they really encourage walking. Like, if you walk for, like, 21 days, like, it's major improvement to your health or something like that. So yeah, like, I'm not walking every single episode, to be honest with you, because I honestly forget about it, and then I'm like, oh, shit.
I love that they're, like, mixing, they're like, this is a Black Women's History podcast, but also, we need you to get some cardiovascular activity.
Yes, they're into self-care.
Is the idea that you're listening to the podcast while you're walking?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Yes.
I actually love to listen to podcasts while I'm walking. That's been my, like, new quarantine thing, is, like, walking outside listening to podcasts.
Oh, really? I like driving and listening to podcasts, but yeah, like, doing that, constantly posting shit on Instagram, you know, all the time. And another thing is about like white privilege is I'm not having tough conversations with people that are silent on social media. What?
But like, I don't know because I don't really use Instagram. Like
You're different though. I constantly
so I'm just like, are people silent
using
for, you know?
you don't. I notice that you're kind of silent, but I know like you're not into social media that much. Like that's not you.
Yeah.
And I'm not on Facebook that much. So when I see like a person who constantly is posting stories about their fun weekend, you know, with all their white friends and all that
Yeah,
shit.
like posting other stuff.
Yeah, and I'm like, are you
well, there's
stupid?
nothing wrong with you having white friends.
The problem is that they're not acknowledging what is happening right now. They're ignoring it. Or they're posting their fucking workout every day. They didn't even do the Tuesday blackout.
Okay, but there were critiques about that blackout, though. Like
There was, okay? It was a cop-out sometimes and, like, whatever. But still, they didn't even do that. Like, are you kidding me right now?
Yeah.
What? Like, and it's... I would love to have that conversation with them, but at the same time, like, it's very uncomfortable. It's like, also, what is the point? I'm not very close with them anymore. Like, it's just, it's complicated. Because it's complicated because I don't want to make anyone feel bad or uncomfortable. But at the same time, I need to use my white privilege to do that because that's going to stop the systemic racism.
Well, that's what Dr. Beverly Tatum says. Like, in her book, she talks about, and this is something I've noticed too, like, this isn't her theory, but she kind of put it in her book, it was someone else's theory, but she talks about, like, oh god, I'm not gonna get it right, so forgive me. It's like, white people have, like, I think 4 stages of kind of, like, getting to where they need to go, and she makes a separate one for non-white people, but it's basically, like, watch me get it wrong, you guys.
Okay.
I think it's like step 1, you don't know that racism exists. Step 2, you know about racism, but you're like, that's not me.
Right, that
Step
doesn't
3,
involve me.
where I think is where a lot of white people stop, is white guilt. You're like, oh my god, I'm part of this horrible history. Oh no, I feel so bad. And that's where it stops. And she's like,
What's the
oh
first?
girl, no.
Wait.
You gotta go to stage
I'm like on the edge of my
4.
seat. What's
Stage
this?
4 is where Stage 4 is where you actually appreciate being white.
Yeah.
And appreciate the power it gives you to dismantle white supremacy.
Did she go into how to do that? Like dismantle? Probably talking to your white friends that are not saying anything.
I don't remember if she actually goes into that specifics, because the book is like kind of about that, but kind of not about that. But it's like, I've noticed so many people that are like, so many white people that are like, oh my god, yeah, like maybe in the last few years, maybe not right now in this climate, but they're just like, oh my god, white people suck, and I'm like, that's stage 3. You're supposed to get to stage 4 where you're like, you know what, being white fucking rocks.
It does fucking rock.
It feels wrong to say, and then you're like, and I'm gonna use that to like lift everyone up. That's where it's supposed to get to, but people stop at that stage. Educated people stop at the stage 3. Where they're like, LOL, so white, we suck, and you're like, but what are you changing?
Ugh.
Yeah.
I feel like I had to talk to these people on my Instagram that like are not saying anything.
Yeah. I mean, maybe. Part of me is just like, I don't know, or is it better just like, I was gonna say March, but I'm like, this fucking corona, because for me, like, when Black Lives Matter marches were happening in the past, I felt really bad that, like, I didn't go to them. Also, I never knew when they were, and I would always hear about them 2 days later. And I was like, damn it, because I want to be part of this. But now that I'm, like, I feel like I know when they're going to happen, but now I'm like, but the corona thing. And, like,
whatever.
I'm trying to follow the news to be like, is there a spike? Is there not? Is it actually not as bad as we thought because it's outside and the sun's killing it? I don't know. I don't have any of the information.
Just risk your life because black people risk their lives every day walking out the door.
I know, but it affects men worse. No, it's not just me risking. It's like, I don't want to infect someone. What if I am carrying it right now?
Yeah,
you
like,
I got it at Jewel Osco and then I'm going to pass it on to somebody else. Like,
yeah.
I don't want to do that either.
Yeah, spreading and stuff like that. But I mean, you gotta take the risk. I mean, also, like, I need to be better about the protests. I'm not, because I'm out in the suburbs too, but there are been suburban protesting as well too. So yeah, like, you know, and riots have spilled into the suburbs too, which is like never fucking happened, which is exciting. It's sad to say, but that's very exciting to me because this change is taking...
It's more widespread.
It's more widespread. People are taking it seriously this time.
Well, that's what somebody on NPR, and like some black person on NPR, I don't remember who they were, but they were like, you know what I see that's different this time around is that I'm seeing white people marching in huge ways in this movement.
Right.
And they're like, we, like black people, we've like marched forever and we've been trying to fight this shit forever, but they're like, the difference now is that non-black people and white people are getting involved. Which I'm like, okay, that's so exciting.
It is very exciting. It's very,
I just want to say that I felt really, I guess, like, emasculated by Gen Z when... Why am I forgetting the name of the Florida shooting stuff?
Oh,
Parkland.
Parkland.
All the Parkland high school students were, like, standing up and they're like, no more guns. And I was like, fuck, millennials... Our one chance to do something was Occupy Wall Street. And that didn't do shit. And now it's just Gen Z's turn, but now I'm like, ooh, with this thing at Black Lives Matter, that is fucking millennial as hell. And we're back in the game, baby, and we're changing things. Fuck you, Gen Z. Like,
Gen Z hasn't done anything for guns.
I mean, they've, like, tried.
They have.
But
They've
like,
had
like
huge
it's
rallies.
like about millennials again, and I'm like, I mean, I know Gen Z's doing this too, but like, Soul Your World, this is a fucking millennial movement as far as I'm concerned.
It is.
So.
It is.
We're still young. Okay, well, I guess we should. This episode is so long.
I know. Should we do success?
Yeah. So we usually finish the episode with our successes of the week to end on a positive note. We have to think about what those even were, because it's the age of Corona. Who knows what day it is? And what's a week? What is a week?
I don't know. It all blurs together. So for me, my success is, I said this in the last reboot episode, that I'm killing it at work, but I forgot to give examples of why I feel that way, which is basically like my constantly getting like applause and praise for like the work that I'm doing. Like I'm one of the, like, not this session yet, but the May trimester, we I was like one of the top performers of like my region. So you get invited to like kind of like a thank you meeting where like the director of admissions will thank you, like, and saying like you guys are doing a good job. You're basically carrying like our floor. And
is there food?
No, there's no food.
Oh, what? It's a thank you. What do they give you?
Well, there used to be like bagels and stuff.
Okay.
But that's when we were in the office.
Oh, okay. So normally.
Now, so if we hit 50% of our marketing plan by a certain time, we get an extra hour of lunch, like on like one day. You have a 2-hour lunch
For one day of the year.
one day of that week or whatever. Yeah.
You guys, companies are a joke.
It's only available every
earner for literally 1/3 of the year, and they give you an extra hour to like choose.
trimester. It's not.
They don't even buy you their lunch.
No.
Okay. Oh my god.
I know. They didn't even serve coffee. Okay? They didn't even serve like good coffee from Panera or anything, like coffee in a box. Like, what the fuck? Just buy it. Are you kidding me? God. But anyways, just like getting that type of praise, like just.
But how meaningful would it be if they shipped, like, oh, we're gonna have to do this online so you won't have the bagel thing, and they like shipped a bagel to your house?
I would eat it.
But how much more meaningful would that be?
A lot.
Yeah.
I would eat it. I don't really like bagels that much because I feel there's too much bread, and I like the crust of the bagel.
Oh, you're gonna be like one of those girls where you like hollow it out and put the cream cheese in the.
Yeah, I don't want to be that girl, so I don't eat the bagel.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah. What about you?
Yeah. Okay. So my success is that I've been going outside a lot.
Okay.
I was an indoor child. Besides going to the quarry, swimming pool, I was an indoor child. Mm-hmm. But I realized, like, if I really want to make this feel like, I really want to embrace summer, especially because so much summer shit is canceled, I just want to be outside. So, like, I've been, like, going to the park after work and, like, taking my little fitted sheet and, like, my swim trunks and just, like, sun tanning, even though it's 5:30, so you can't really tan, with, like, my Game Boy and my book. And then last weekend, I literally, like, played tennis with my friend outside.
What?
On Saturday.
I've been wanting to do that with you. What the fuck?
The park is right there. We can play whatever you want.
I don't have a racket. Do you have...
I have one, but it's from the thrift store. I need to buy a new one. You can buy them at Target for $16.
Okay.
My friend didn't have a racket. She bought a racket and a tennis ball so we could do it. So, like, I like played tennis, and then Sunday I was like outside all day because we were like grilling in our friend's backyard, and I'm just like, yes, it's all about being outside. Like, and I'm like walking to the grocery store and like biking. Like, I'm just like outside. Yes, like. Yeah, especially because I sit by my front window of my apartment to work. Like, I literally sit next to the window and I watch people walk their dogs and their babies all day. And I just stare at them and I'm like, I'm working and you're free somehow. What?
You can be free if you had a dog. Because you have to take a potty.
It just feels so pointless when I'm, like, working, especially on advertising, which we know doesn't matter, but everyone in advertising thinks it matters. And I'm like, nothing I do is going to change anyone's life, so why am I not outside?
That's not true. You're trying to push the agenda for like gay couples on in advertising.
I know. I'm trying to get this fucking Juneteenth Instagram post.
Yeah.
I think we'll sell it.
Oh my god.
It's
I gotta hope so.
Safe too. It's like good, but it's not too crazy. It's like because clients get scared when you try to make them do something too crazy.
Okay.
So. Yeah, you guys, that's our episode. I think we're going to do these every 2 weeks.
Yes, every 2 weeks. We're going to take a break during the holidays, too.
Well,
so.
The Christmas... It's June. I don't know why that's the thing we have to talk about right now.
Just preparing you guys so not to be a surprise. But we are going to... Yeah.
Yeah, this is season 2.
Season 2.
You guys can email us at... Fuck, what the fuck?
I don't know what IDK what I'm doing at Gmail.
No.
Is it?
idkpod@gmail.com.
Okay.
We have to get our Instagram back up running, so we won't even plug that right now. I haven't even plugged that our show's back on my Instagram. People don't even know the show is like maybe back.
Yeah, I did. But I felt guilty because it was like in the very beginning of Black Lives Matter. So like should I even promote my own shit? But I did. So
oops. Yeah, I mean, that's our show. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys. Bye. We're not going to see Stassi's wedding? Like, fuck.